Good evening, everyone. I am Cella. Thanks for coming out to the show. I'm sure a lot of you here recognize me from my extensive career as an extra in movies and television. I got to be an extra on The Sopranos during the last season. Big thrill for me. I got to sit at the bar at the Bada Bing Club and pretend to drink alcohol and look at topless girls for like 4 hours. It's quite a stretch for me. A brilliant performance. And when the shoot was done, they told me the compensation was going to be $75. I thought that was fair, so I paid them. Hey, you're probably wondering, when you do a scene at the Bada Bing, do they give you real alcohol? No, unfortunately, the booze is fake. But I feel it's only appropriate because so most of the boobs and the dances. Of course, the big difference between fake boobs and fake booze is you can still have a pretty good time with fake boobs. Now, by now you can probably tell I haven't always been a stand-up comedian. I actually had a regular job. Then one day the boss came in and he asked me to send him an email when I was finished working on this project. Unfortunately for me, I thought he said send him a she-mail. You know? Really, what the fuck did I know? Maybe that's how he likes to celebrate a completed project. I don't work there anymore. Last I heard, they were still together. Now, call me old-fashioned, but she-mail is really fascinating. Girls with a pretty face, nice tits, and a cute ass. Who might have let a little thing like a penis stand in the way? If you think about it, there's really a lot of advantages to dating a she-mail. It's never hard time in the month. No PMS. That's a plus. You probably don't have to beg her that much to get her to have anal sex with you. If she moves in, she's probably already got his and her towels. Oh, and best of all, as far as a threesome goes, have that pretty much with just the two of you. Anyway, do you guys see these commercials for doggy steps? It's an actual little staircase for the dogs to help jump up on the bed of the couch. They have short legs. Now, if I wanted my dog on the bed of the couch, I would have gotten the dog with longer legs in the first place. I'm just kidding. I have a Yorkshire Terrier. I love him. I spoil him rotten, in fact. Yeah, he's so spoiled, he wouldn't even use doggy steps. He's holding out for doggy escalator. Yeah, his name is Oliver, and like I mentioned, he's a Yorkshire Terrier, and like most descendants from England, he really loves to drink beer. If I'm drinking beer, I gotta make sure I pour some O'Doul's into his water dish, or he won't let me drink in peace. Hey, it's gotta be O'Doul's, he's underage. And if I'm out drinking beer like I am tonight, he's gonna insist on French kissing me for like 10 minutes when I go home. No, I'm kidding. I'm the one who insists. But he doesn't seem to mind. Anyway. People usually laugh at that, but I guess it's the meaning of the ASPCA or something. But on an unrelated topic, I was over at the Applebee's in Times Square just the other day. Yeah. You've been there. It's a real big one. They got 3 different floors. I guess you could say it's a restaurant that sucks on many different levels. But, I was there a little while, and I told the waitress I needed to go to the bathroom. She said, okay, go down and a little to the right. Now, I almost always go down unless I'm aroused, but usually to the left. But I tried it her way, and there wasn't much difference. I just had to dry off the other shoe for a change. But while I was in the men's room, I noticed they had a baby changing table in there. Now, is that where you can go to exchange your baby if you're not happy with it? Again, I'm kidding. It's what I do. I know what it's for. But what struck me about this particular table was next to the brand name, there's a little sign in Braille. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I very rarely see a blind man in the men's room changing a baby. In all fairness, he doesn't see me either. Speaking of blind folks, apparently Governor Patterson's approval rating is at an all-time low now. And I guess maybe, in retrospect, his predecessor wasn't so bad after all. We all remember him. He had to resign because he was spending thousands of dollars on a prostitute. You know, I think we were a little harsh on him because if anybody should see a prostitute, it was him. His wife's name was Mrs. Spitzer. You know, if it would have been Mrs. Swallow, he might have spent a lot more time at home. But getting back to Governor Patterson, as we know, he is the first legally blind governor of New York. I think we had a few who were legally dumb, but I'm not positive. But speaking of dumb, if you recall, when Patterson first took office, one of the first things he did was confess to having numerous affairs while married to his current wife. I guess those ladies he went out with really enjoyed going on blind dates. But come on, at least we don't have to worry about him spending thousands of dollars on a prostitute because as we all know, you can get them a lot cheaper if you don't care what they look like. Again, I just kid. He seems like a nice enough fella. I mean, I just saw him the other day in the men's room at Applebee's changing a baby. He didn't see me though. Anyway, I heard there was a doctor in the house, so maybe you can relate to this. I was at my doctor the other day, and he asked me to give him a stool sample. I said, no problem, but isn't that a little unusual? I mean, you're my psychiatrist. He said he wanted to see me finally get my shit together. Speaking of crazy shit, I was dating this girl a while ago, and she basically dumped me because she claimed that she felt I suffered from premature ejaculation. First of all, I think suffer is too harsh a term. All right, it was a little fast, but I still kind of enjoyed it. And I tried to explain to her it's really not my fault. I was a premature baby, so it's only natural. I got used to leaving vaginas early. Now, on top of that, my doctor tells me I have a slightly enlarged prostate. Unfortunately, that's the only time anybody's used the word enlarged to describe anything in that particular area. So it's really not fair, though, because now with the enlarged prostate and the premature ejaculation, you know, I still come in 30 seconds, but it takes me 3 minutes to pee. Anyway, I was driving by this school the other day when I saw this sign that said, speed limit, 25 miles an hour when children are present. Now, how the fuck do I know if children are present? Should I go in and take attendance? And if they are present, who decided 25 miles an hour is an acceptable speed for a child to be run over? I realized it's 27 miles an hour, the kid could be killed. I guess 25 miles an hour, the car just bounces off. These kids are fat today, but still gotta hurt a little. Another sign I saw for the same school says, drug-free school zone. Yeah, these kids have it good. When I went to school, I used to pay for my drugs. But I guess the free drugs do help when these fat kids are hit by the slow-moving cars. But seriously, it's got to be tough going to school these days. Yeah, have things happening now that just didn't happen when I was a kid. You have teachers having sex with the students. Okay, that's something I might have enjoyed as a child, but it's probably not for everyone. You have school shootings, you have gang violence. And I guess those wedgies I used to get freshman year really weren't so bad after all. And once I stopped wearing underwear, well, the homeroom teacher pretty much had no choice but to stop giving them to me. Anyway, before I get out of here, I just wanted to share this last thing. I'm sure you're all sick of these prescription drug ads that list like 100 horrible side effects that are 10 times worse than you had in the first place. But I'll share this with you anyway. It's for a nighttime sleep aid. And one of the side effects is possible sleeplessness. Sleeplessness, you know, I already have that side effect. That's why I'm taking the fucking pill in the first place. It's like taking Viagra and finding out one of the side effects is an extremely soft penis. I already have that. Actually, I've never taken Viagra myself, but my grandfather, he told me he was 86 years old, God bless him. He wasn't still sexually active, he just really enjoyed walking around with a heart on. Unfortunately, he stopped taking it a few years before he died, or he could have played horseshoes at the wake. And we probably still could have, he looked pretty stiff to me. I guess rigor mortis is nature's Viagra. But he was quite a character, he really was sexually active at age 86, I just didn't think anyone would believe that. He used to have hookers come over to his house like 2 or 3 times a week. I thought this was very disrespectful to my grandmother's memory. She was still alive, she just couldn't remember that the hookers were there. And the phrase, dirty old man doesn't really do him justice, but based on the stories he would tell us, he was pretty much a dirty young man. Yes, I remember the times around the holidays, he would gather us grandchildren and proudly tell us all about the time that, as a young man, he gave himself a blowjob. Needless to say, I was mortified. Mortified that this particular trait doesn't run in the family. Gray hair, I got that. The ability to auto-fellate myself, no. Thankfully, I don't need to do that to myself anyway. I'm sure you all can tell I can get a blowjob anytime I like. All I have to do is pull little old duels on my crotch and I'm all set. Now I know what they call a man's best friend. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Little Sarah, guys, come on! He's gonna go backstage and pour some more duels on his crotch.